Today I want to talk about mounting control boxes. If you're like me, you've had trouble with control box falling off. If you want to find out how I do it, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to talk about the control box mounting on the Deus XP-2. It has been a problem for a lot of people, and some people haven't had issues, but maybe they don't use the detector like I use it. I'm primarily a water hunter, and I've had a lot of trouble with the control box housing falling off and ears breaking on the stock control head unit mount. The ears I'm talking about are the little clips that hold it on. So today I'm going to talk about the things I've tried, the things that didn't work, and the things that do work. First thing I want to talk about are these little ones that come on the XP-2. I've had problems with those little clip things breaking off. I've also had trouble with this thing losing the control box when I was underwater, and I'm having to chase down my control box. The way around this is put the tether strips on it that XP sends you, which are pretty small, and I've broken several of these, so these don't really hold up very well. Ended up using a Canon camera strap. It worked much better.
You'll see here, this is a camera tether. Didn't want to lose my control box, so I have it really on here where it's hard to get off. It's kind of, I can't even take it off. But this is just a control box. The one that they had at XP was real flimsy, so I didn't want to take a chance on losing this thing. So I bought a professional camera control box thing. Actually, I had this one. This was the one that I used on my GoPro.
But these units typically have problems. Another thing I don't like about them is they're mounted, I'll see if you guys can see that, mounted with these little bitty teeny metric screws that are hard to get in and out. I didn't like that. We didn't have standard screws for America, so I had to track down the size of this screw to keep those mounted. So that's some of the issues that I've had with this part of the unit. My next thing to try was I ordered this piece here from Detector Doodads. Now, this is something I don't recommend. First of all, my control box, it totally messed up the ears on the control box, and I had to fix that. It totally bent those out, because this thing, what he did to make them stronger is he made this little ridge a little thicker right here. Now the clips, you notice, are a lot bigger than the stock unit. So if you look at the stock unit here, you'll notice that those little clips are, we get it facing the same direction here. You'll notice that those clips, they're on here, are a little bit bigger. So that was one issue I had, is that these things totally messed up my control box housing. So another thing, they do come with the mounting screw holes in here, and it seems to hold up pretty well. Another issue I had with this is when I ordered this from the guy, he did not send me the little piece that screws onto here that's supposed to press against the control box to hold it in place. I tried contacting him. He would not respond to any of my emails. Also, it took me 3 weeks to get this piece, and I'm just not pleased with the service I got from the guy. Got this from Detector Doodads, and I'm not pleased with the service I got. I'm not pleased with the way it messed up my control housing. I'm not pleased with a lot of stuff about this unit right here. So another unit that I ordered that I really liked is this unit here. Is a 3D printed model, and it works really good. It has a tilt feature on it. Let me get it up here where we can see it. It actually tilts, and this is actually the one I use currently on my WS6 Master. So let me get that on here. I'm gonna set this camera down. Maybe we can get a little better pictures if I set it down. But we set the WS6 Master on here, and let's see. That just, it's hard to do from behind the camera, guys. It just sets on there like that, and this tilts back and forth. Works great with the WS6 Master. I tried it with the control box housing, still had the popping off issue. So it still does pop off a little bit. So it works great with the WS6 Master, but I don't recommend it for the control box housing because it doesn't solve the pop-off issue, and you still have to use a tether. But you'll see that you can tilt that where you can see it. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, one of the problems with these units is you can't tilt them, and they tend to make the video screen where you have to like pull it over to see it. You can't see it real well with these units. And same with this detector doodads, when you can't see the screen real well. I do like the tilt feature. It's on this one. It really works great. So my last solution, and the one that I currently use, you'll see this on my dive machine right here. We'll get it up here where you can see it. This one comes from RC Digs, okay? And I really like this one unit here. I've got one that I keep on my land machine over here too. So get this around where you can see it. And this one just unscrews like so. And you can take the top off, and you'll see I keep my antenna mounted in here. So all I have to do is swap the control box. And just lay that wire on the antenna and clip it on. It works really good. I like this unit. One of the problems that I found with this unit is it works great on this shaft. This is the standard shaft. I didn't even have to screw it down, fit nice and tight. It doesn't have screw holes in there, but it does fit tight, and I didn't have to screw it down. Works great. One of the problems I had is on the dive machine. This unit, I had to, if you notice the dive machine, this little piece that's right here is smaller because it only uses the dive shaft here, which is the same size as a regular coil shaft. So this piece has to be smaller. And you'll notice in here, I had to sand quite a bit. And since this was going to be permanent on my dive machine, I went ahead and glued that to the dive machine. Okay, so actually I actually sanded it down where it would fit in the shaft, and I epoxied it to the dive machine. So that's actually working real well for me. I like it, works out good. Another problem with these things, you'll notice the control box sits inside here. This little thing would fill up with water. On the bottom down here, I drilled a little hole to let the water out. So if you're going to use it for diving, I suggest you drill a little hole in the bottom. So my choice out of all of these mounting systems so far is the RC Digs unit. I do not recommend at all the detector doodad unless you want to mess your detector up permanently. There is some stretching going on there. At least the one I got, it did. Maybe you guys had luck with yours, but I've had a lot of problems with it. But detector doodads, or if you're going to use the WS6 Master, I suggest this little one that tilts back and forth. It works really good for that. So there's my opinion on mounting your control box.